Gotta find my way to you, even though you're next to me, no matter what I do.
Welcome back to the Magnetic Marriage Activation. I'm so excited that you were able to make it to attend today. We're recording this session, so we will send out the replays if you're not able to attend the whole thing. I'm working on those replays now, so don't worry if you haven't received them yet. Some of my audio had some issues, so I have to just fix some of that stuff before I can send it off. So we're redoing day 1 of the Magnetic Marriage Activation because we didn't get the recording of it. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. Thank you for being here, Charlotte and James. And does anybody have anything they would like to share? Any wins that they've been able to have over the course of over the last few days in their relationship, or any wins that they'd like to share that made them really happy or felt like it was success in any of their relationships. So if you've had any success in your relationships of any kind, using any skills that you think are relevant, I would love to hear if you'd like to share. No problem. If you're not available to share, that's no problem. I would love to share a win that I have. So sometimes the most powerful skills are recognizing when you have strong emotions and being okay with that, and just being vulnerable instead of complaining. So in that vulnerability, often we create connection rather than complaint. So sometimes my natural instinct is to want to complain about something that I'm feeling bad about. But instead, if I choose to express my vulnerability, that really helps me and my husband to draw closer. So I was able to do that a little bit earlier today. It helped me feel a lot better because my husband was able to show love and concern, and he didn't feel like I was blaming or shaming him, I don't think. And so he was able to step up and create connection between us, and it was really loving. And every time that I'm able to be vulnerable instead of complaining, it always works to create connection, or most of the time. Sometimes, we each have our own issues that we're dealing with, so sometimes maybe our partners aren't available for that, but a lot of times they are available just because they want to make us happy, and they have a natural instinct and desire to make us happy. As much as we might have a lot of evidence gathered that that's not true, once we start gathering the evidence that our partners do actually really want to make us happy and do want to be our heroes, and probably the reason why we're in love or fell in love in the first place is because they were able to be successful in that area. When we realize that, it's okay to be vulnerable. I'm not talking about excessive complaint, long drawn out periods, but just, sometimes just expressing our vulnerabilities really helps us to connect, and our partners just want to be there for us and love us. So thank you so much for listening, and I really appreciate your contribution in any way that you're available to do so today. All right, so we're going to be doing the first session of the Magnetic Marriage Activation, which is on self-care and self-love. And we start with self-care and self-love because there's so much magnetism in focusing on what we can do for ourselves to help ourselves be happy. So obviously, we're not always successful in making ourselves happy, but if we work really, make it a priority to enjoy our lives and to be connected to ourselves, to our spirits, and to the happiest part of ourselves, or the most magnetic versions of ourselves, and we take responsibility for our own happiness by doing things that we really love every single day. At least 3 things, more things sometimes is required, especially if we've had a really rough time lately. If we've had a large falling out between us and someone else, or if we've had a major setback in any area of our lives, it tends to dampen our spirit so much that we might require a lot of extra self-care and self-love exercises during that period of time. Sometimes we only can do those things for ourselves during that time. So if we've had a major breakdown, or, like a major disagreement, or even a break up, I've had clients who have actually separated and just been really struggling in that. And when my husband and I had separated, there was a lot of struggle. So we have to do a lot of things that are loving for ourselves during those periods of time when we're really struggling. And so what we do with our self-love and self-care exercises is we make a list of at least 20 things that we love to do. Sometimes we have to reconnect with our childlike selves in order to know what those things are. And we need to make sure that they're things that really help us connect with our spirits. As kids, we tend to know what it is that makes us happy. And as we get older, sometimes we've so focused on getting work done and completing our one task after another, after another, after another, and being productive and never feeling like we're fully there, like we're fully even achieving anything. It can be really hard for us to want to do anything fun, and we're not even sure what fun is, and we start to lose connect. We start to become disconnected from that version of us that knows how to have fun and have a great time and just be happy, you know? And as we make this list of things that are completely frivolous, completely unproductive, we start to recognize that actually the purpose of life is not to be in a continuous state of distress, but rather to be in a state of connection and love and joy. And the more we have that connection, love, and joy, the more we can magnetize happiness into our lives and into the present moment. So we're going to make a list right now. If you can grab a pen and a paper, we are going to make a list of at least 20 things that make us happy. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to grab your pen and paper and to start writing down on this list. And the things that I like to put on my list are always frivolous and fun. Like, they are not very productive things. Sometimes they can have like a dual purpose. Like, if you like hiking, the other purpose would be, well, I like to keep my body fit. And so that's kind of like a side purpose. But if you like running, and it feels like it's a happy experience for you, then that would be on your list. If you enjoy, eating healthy, and that is on your list of self-care and it makes you happy, then that would be on your list. But if it doesn't feel happy, then it shouldn't be on your list. So if it doesn't feel like it makes you smile, then don't put it on your list. So for me, I put on, like, I love running. Some days I don't like it as much as others, so I have to gauge depending. I love hiking and swimming, and I love going to movies. I love hanging out with friends. I love just connecting with myself during like dates. Like, I like to take myself on dates sometimes, just getting myself something yummy and just having some quiet time. I love having a bath. I love having like a bath with like a little treat. That's really fun for me. I love, depleted. So we really need to recognize that that's a huge factor in relationships, because it's between two people. And if both people are depleted, there's really no way that you're going to have a good time together. So you got to figure out a way to bring that happiness back into the present moment. Number one skill: self-care, self-love. Do those actions. I really do recommend meditation. So let's do that right now. Let's do a meditation together. So I like to start with meditation every day and in each one of these sessions and during my coaching as well. So let's just take a deep breath in and slow breath out. And let's just ground to the earth right now. Just feel grounded and connected. Down to the earth right now. Just feel grounded and connected. Just imagine that your energy can connect to everything around you. The plants, animals, other people. Connect to the ocean, connect to the rocks and the sand. I want you to imagine that you can connect to anything that you love on this planet, even outside of this planet. I want you to imagine that you can connect right now to those things. Take a deep breath in. Slow breath out. Once again, grounding your energy to the earth, right to the center of the earth. And let that grounded energy come up through your feet. Fill up your legs, into your pelvis, all the way up to your heart, and into your mind. Clearing out all the confused energy. And take that confused energy and shoot it down to the center of the earth, removing it from your body. Now I want you to imagine that you can connect to the cosmic energy. So the energy of love, however you would like to see that, the energy of all love, the source of all love. That can be the universe or God, your angels, whoever you see the source of all love and wisdom. Let that beautiful energy come down through your crown chakra, to your third eye, to your heart and your throat, your heart, all the way down to your sacral and your root chakra, cleansing out all of the sad, dark energy, and let that energy go down through the center of the earth. Take a deep breath in. Connecting again to the plants and the animals and the people that you love. And most importantly, I would love for you to take this moment to connect to your heart. Feel your heart beating in your chest. Your heart is a powerful source of energy and love. I want you to connect to the group energy of this class, all the past, present, and future participants of this magnetic marriage activation, and all seekers of love. Connect with them all across the earth right now. I want you to imagine that you're capable of connecting to all those in the earth who are seeking love, and they support you, and you support them. And together you breathe in the energy of love, the energy of self-love and healing. Once again, let that darkness go down to the center of the earth through your feet, and breathe in the cosmic energy of love all the way through your body. Now, I want you to imagine again that your energy of love, or your spirit, grows. And it expands past your skin, and it expands to the whole room that you're in right now. Breathe that in. And breathe out. Now I want you to imagine that the energy of love that is your spirit and your aura expand past the room and into your whole city. And I want you to connect to the people and the animals and the plants of the whole city and the energy of the city. And I want you to connect to all love, all desire for love, and let it fill your heart right now. Breathe that in. And send love to all the people who need love in your whole city right now. I want you to imagine that your support alone, your belief alone, has the power to help and heal not just yourself, but all those who need it right here, right now. And you can ground your energy and theirs simultaneously. Right now, send that love to them. Breathe in love and healing. Breathe out darkness and sadness. Now feel your heart again, beating, loving, is spreading joy everywhere it goes. Breathe in a recent moment that you got to share with yourself, where you took yourself on a little mini date and you did something just for you. I want you to breathe into that moment. How did it feel to love yourself? Did it have a taste? Did it have a sound? What did it feel like on your skin? Breathe into that. Submerge yourself in the energy of that moment and bring that joy back into your heart and keep it there. Keep it there. The gratitude of love that you feel for yourself and how you show up for yourself in this magical way that you have about you, this magical spirit that you have inside your body that is so full of beauty and compassion and kindness and joy. Your childlike version of you. Imagine the little child version of you sitting in front of you, and you're loving the little version of you. Breathe that in. Connect now to that sweet angel version of you, the young version of you. Give yourself love and let your young version of you give you love and be proud of you for how far you've come in your life. All the efforts you've ever made to love and be loved. And I want you to forgive yourself for any past mistakes that you've made. Breathe in that forgiveness. Let go of judgment and control. And now I want you to imagine that you're going to do 3 self-cares today and tomorrow and for the whole week. And I want you to imagine what that will feel like to do those things for yourself. For me, it's like, what if I'm running on the trail and I can feel the soft dirt under my feet as I'm running? My heart pounding, feeling so connected to the earth, to the plants, to nature, to beautiful Hawaii and the islands. I imagine now like what it's like to go have a bath and soak in the bath, the bubble bath. Have a little treat. Breathe in that. Imagine in detail. Pretend you're there now, loving on yourself. Smile. Now I just want you to bring your energy right back behind your eyes. Bring your spirit and your energy right back, right behind your eyes, and be present right here, right now. And open your eyes to the room. Be present. How'd that feel? Anybody want to share? It's okay if you can't share. If you want to send a message in the chat, I'd also love to hear it there. Well, for me, connecting with myself it's like a kind of like an out of body experience. It's I start to see something bigger than the problems that are right in front of me and see that I have much more to do in my life than just be afraid or stressed about the next deadlines or how I'm not succeeding or how I haven't showed up the way I want to show up, which is a really negative experience. And our thoughts tend to be on the negative side, 86% negative. And so when we bring in the positive, loving energy into our hearts and do those meditations and connect to ourselves and those around us and spread that love everywhere we go, there's a beauty that takes place that really has no equal. So thank you so much for doing that meditation with me and for writing down your self-cares. And I would love for your homework to be to do those 3 self-cares, at least 3, write them down and be intentional. Do your journal writing. However you like to record it, the more intentional, the better. What did I learn from this? How can I make this better? Was there something that made it less pleasant than it could have been? I remember people have heard this story before so many times, but I remember one time my husband and I was asking my husband if he wanted to go paddleboarding with me, and he didn't want to go because he wanted to do work, and I was offended because I was like, oh, well, don't you want to spend time with me? Isn't it the most important thing you could ever do to spend time with your wife? To have fun with me? That was my thoughts, but I didn't say them out loud. And I knew that it was not wise for me to complain. I did that plenty of times before, and it always ends badly, and it comes across as controlling and demanding, and I didn't want to be that version of me. So instead, I chose to take care of myself, and I loaded up my paddleboard on the back of our quad that we had at the time. It was in Washington State, and we were actually moving. It was a lot of stress during that time. There was a lot going on, but I was like, no, I'm doing my self-care. And I got my inflatable paddleboard, put it on the back of the quad, which is a 4-wheeler, drove down 10 minutes down the road as the wind was blowing through my hair. I could feel the energy on my skin. I could breathe in the oxygen. It was rich, like that, that amazing feeling of being outside and connected to the energy of everything. And I really felt like I was connected. I was really intentional about it. Remember, I was feeling very distressed before this. But I set the intention that I was going to have the most amazing time ever, and it was going to be so happy, and it was. I just loved every second of it, and it was a little cool, and it was just the wind was blowing, and I was going up and down the hills, and I got to the lake. I unloaded that paddleboard and filled it up, and as soon as I was on the lake, standing on the lake, and looking down through the water, and looking at the milfoil moving through the water, was so beautiful. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I'm here right now. There was no one to distract me, nobody to talk to, and just connection to my spirit and to, I believe, the spirit of the water, the spirit of the plants, the spirit of the mountains, and the spirit of the people that were there. And they were laughing. There was these 2 ladies laughing on this huge inflatable Pegasus, and they were just like having such a fun time and just giggling and laughing, and I could hear kids, and the kids were playing with them, but they were just making hysterical jokes, and I didn't know what they were saying, but I felt so connected to them even though I didn't know them, and I felt so happy, and the light was sparkling like little crystals off the top of the water. You know how the light reflects off the water and like sparkles? That's what it was like. And the light was going through the trees a little bit later in the day. It was just kind of streaming down across the lake, and I dove into that water, and it was cool, and I set the intention for it to be so connecting, and I was so connected to it, and I could hear these children laughing, and it just reminded me of my childhood. And they called me a water baby when I was a kid because I loved the water. I would stay in there for long periods of time. I would just float and swim in that water. It was like I was meant to be in the water. And I just remember those moments when I was a kid and just being a kid. Not being like stressed about how am I showing up properly? Am I working hard enough? Am I being a good enough mom? Am I being a good enough wife? Am I good at my business? Do I like everything that goes wrong? Like, just none of those things were in my mind at all. I just was connecting to myself and my child self. And that was really important because the purpose of our life is not to be stressed out and miserable. It's to be happy and connected. So if you're finding that And I was finding that I was unsatisfied. My expectations were not being met. And so I decided I was going to show up differently and love myself. And it filled me all the way up. And when I got home, I did not complain to my husband. I did not give him that glare that you give, like, how dare you betray me? That feeling. Or like, how dare you not be here for me when I wanted something or whatever. And, I didn't do that. And, instead I said nice things and loving, and I told him how grateful I was that he took care of the kids when I was gone, and that he's doing such a good job. And with the moving and the packing and the keeping everything up and running. And I focused, instead of what was going wrong, I focused on what was going right. And there's always plenty to focus on that's wrong. So don't focus on those things. I chose not to, and it was amazing. And I really brought more of what I wanted into my life. And it was beautiful. And so that's my invitation to you, is to do 3 wonderful things that make you happy. And that's a personal thing, so you'll just have to decide what those are for you. So thank you so much for letting me chat about those things for so long and sharing in that moment, that beautiful moment with me. So the next section we're going to go on to is we are going to make a contract with ourselves. And the contract is going to go like this. And you're going to write your name and agree that I will be the change that my family needs, and avoid blame or shame of me or my partner. I will be the change that I need, that we need, that the world needs, and not blame and shame other people, including my partner, or the circumstances of my life. I will be responsible for myself, and I will show up as the best version of me and not worry about what other people's opinions are. I'm just going to be the best version of me. That's basically what we're going to write. So if you have your pen and a paper, I would love for you to write this down. Write your name. Agree that I will be the change that my family needs, and avoid blame or shame of me or my partner. And if you're not currently in a relationship, this would be anybody in your life. Just blaming or shaming, like anything in the past, any relationships that you've struggled with. Avoid blaming or shaming in those circumstances. That's what we're referring to. And I would love for you to sign at the bottom of that contract. And if you can, rewrite it or take it out of your journal and just pin it up somewhere, because knowing that you are the change that the world needs, that you are the person you need for your happiness, and only you have the power to do that. No one else has any power over that. That is so empowering, knowing that. And it turns you into a really great date. And you will realize the more self-care you do and the more you love yourself, the more magnetic you are towards yourself, not attacking yourself for doing things wrong, and not being angry with yourself for not being good enough to somebody else or to yourself. Just not ruminating on the things that have gone wrong, but focusing instead on who you are, like spiritually and energetically. Who am I? And who is that beautiful human being that lives there, that has always been here, that I need to take care of and love? And how can I be better? And if other people don't receive the things that I offer that are loving, it's okay. Because I did it for me. I didn't do it for them. I did it because I love myself. And I want to make my life amazing. And I want to do the best I can to make other people's lives amazing and ground to each one of those people. And I really love connecting with people at a spiritual level, knowing that each person that I meet every day is a spiritual being, and I get to connect with them at any moment. And when I do, and I really am intentional about it, they can feel it. They can feel my intention to connect. rather than just going about my day, being ordinary and just doing my thing and just saying the words and going about the motions, but not really being present in my body. You're kind of like off here or off there, but not really here, not really here. You're like somewhere else, stressed about the past, stressed about the future, none of that stuff. We don't want that. We want to come and be present, show up in this energy of love that we actually are. Okay, so now that we've done our contract, the next part of this activation is we're going to talk about Tantric Intimacy. So that's touch, communication, and unconditional love. So what is Tantric Intimacy? Tantric way of being is a way of being present and connected spiritually, just like we talked about earlier. And it involves so much more than just what we normally would think of as connecting with another human being. Oh man, it's so much deeper than that. It's not just about conversations that you have or figuring out things or doing things, having fun or doing work. It's so much more than that. It's so beautiful to connect with a person at the tantric level. So at this energetic level. So the first thing I like to talk to my clients about is connecting with their partners and with others that they meet through your eyes. Your eyes are the windows to your soul. They're windows to your soul. And okay, I would love for you to try this today if you can. But I would love for you to come meet somebody energetically through the eyes. I don't know who this person's going to be. It even could be an animal. I want you to be present right behind your eyes when you see them. Stand up tall, be confident, be present right behind your eyes, and just realize that you are amazing, first of all, and that you are an energy being and that you can send love to any person at any time through your presence and intention. So right now, I want you to close your eyes and imagine that you're walking up to somebody that you care about, or maybe a stranger even, or a pet even. And I want you to imagine just connecting to them through your eyes. Just looking into their eyes, seeing into the windows to their soul, and sending the intention to love them. Recognizing that your intention alone creates an atmosphere of love and healing. You are an energy being and you have the capacity to heal with your eyes, with your touch, with your intention, with your energy, with your complete presence. Now I want you to imagine how they react when they see you, looking at them in this loving way, this intentional way. It doesn't have to be a sexual way or anything like that, just an intentional way, presence. How does that make them feel? How does that make you feel? Breathe into that feeling. Imagine how grounded and connected you feel. How healing it is to know that you can connect to any person at any time, even if they're not here with you. Breathe into that wonderful feeling and breathe out. And come back to the room. Were you able to connect? Could you feel it? That love? I know I can. I want you to practice doing this tantric eye gazing or tantric connecting. They're in the tantric way of being, they do this presence, which is actual eye gazing, is very uncomfortable for people because they have to look into each other's eyes for long periods of time. And they're just really connected. They're not saying anything. They're just connecting. And you're like, oh, that's so awkward. And I remember at one of my retreats, I had this couple there, and I asked them to look into each other's eyes, and they did. And they felt uncomfortable because they're not used to looking and gazing into each other's eyes. Like, this is so awkward right now. That's how it feels, because because normally you shut off this energetic sharing between you and another person. You'd shut it off with your fear of rejection, with your judgment of yourself and them, with your lack of presence. It's like you're not even really in your body. It's like your spirit is somewhere else, just floating somewhere else, and you're kind of like void. And that state is very depressing. It's not happy at all. And when they started to learn how to connect energetically with this eye gazing technique, there was so much beauty that took place between them. It was like magic. And so that is my invitation for you to connect with your partner or any other person energetically with your eyes and your intention and your belief that it's possible. That's your homework. That's one of your homeworks. Self-care, tantric connection through your eyes. Sorry, I like to give way too many homework assignments, so we're going to have a few more. And I will be sending you the recordings of this Zoom so you can watch it again and practice, because practice makes perfect, right? These skills take some time to practice. We're not used to it. We're not really present a lot. Most of the time we're somewhere else. And I want you to be present. I want you to practice being present and loving on yourself. This is a way to love yourself and others, not judge them, not to control them, not to change them, but to be with them. Really be with them. Okay, so we did the eye gazing. Now we're going to practice another way of tantric way of being, and that is with physical touch. Now, physical touch is so powerful, and I'm not just referring to it can be a sexual or non-sexual physical touch, but physical touch is being completely present with your partner or someone else, and it's kind of like a gentle hand on the arm. It can be like like a touch on the face. It can be like, if it's more sensual on the face, it can be on the shoulders, like a gentle, soft touch that like it enlivens the senses and your skin. It just feels so amazing. And you can practice this. So we're going to start with the most basic and easy way of doing it, which is like standing in front of somebody and just being present. So this can be anyone. It doesn't have to be a sexual kind of thing or like an intimacy related thing. It can just be like a human to human connection. So touch their arm and look into their eyes and connect. The moment you gotta tell me about how it goes for you, because the moment you actually connect with another human being that you don't even know, you're going to feel it. It's going to go right into your body. And you're going to realize how powerful your spirit actually is and how powerful their spirit is and how much we all crave loving connection from every other person and how much we don't do it for each other, how much we don't know how powerful we actually are. And when I first learned this principle, it gives me shivers just thinking about it, because I could not believe how I could connect to another human being in that way. And how I could just let go of the past and connect with my husband in that way. And it was so magical. And so we did the eye gazing, and then we did the tantric touch, which is all over the body, like head to toe, kind of everywhere. And then we did a tantric meditation, which is a couples meditation. It's really, really powerful. It's another way to really sync up and connect, kind of like the meditations we are doing here, but like a couples version of that meditation. So we're going to do one of those meditations shortly. And I do have on my YouTube channel, my husband and I did a Yab Yum tantric meditation, couples meditation, a yab-yum pose. So it's where the woman climbs on top of the man's lap and does this kind of breathing, and you breathe in sync. It's a very beautiful way of connecting with your partner and any other human being. And thank you so much, Marcella, for writing these things down for us. That was so awesome of you. Wow, this is awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. And I also will send an email. If you're not on my email list, just I will get your email and send it to you, Marcella. Okay. So we'll do, so the tantric touch. So we were talking about the tantric touch. So you can practice tantric touch with every human being that you encounter that you're comfortable with, just like a gentle touch on the arm. I don't know if you meet people. Sometimes they just intend, like you can feel their presence when you first meet them. And when I was growing up, it didn't feel comfortable to just touch somebody, like, ooh. That seems like a little out of your comfort zone, but in some families, people are way more touchy, and so they're used to connecting in that way. I love giving hugs. That's always been something that happened for us. Like we did a lot of hugging when we first met somebody, but when we hugged, did we fully connect? It was more like just a quick hug, where you feel it fully connecting. What happens when you give a person a hug, especially your partner that you love so much, but you really connect, like intentionally connect? What healing can take place when you intentionally send your partner love? And what's really amazing about it is that when you send your partner love in the form, any kind of form, even just energetically, even if they're not in the room, and like through touch and through eye gazing and through presence, which is our tantric communication, you have a healing impact on your partner. It's almost like you are an energy healer in that moment. And I am of the firm belief that couples, when they really are present and loving with each other, have a healing effect on each other. Well, of course, we can't control our partners or force them to show up in any particular way, which is not what we want to do. And that's why we signed the contract. But in our presence, in our self-love presence, in our non-controlling, not forcing anybody to be anything, just being loving, just because we are, just existing as we are, as the imperfect human beings, perfectly imperfect human beings that we are, that love, that connection and that intention for connection has a healing effect on both of us. Any person who you connect with, even this whole class, like anybody who listens to this in the future, has listened to it in the past, or who has the intention to connect, that alone has a healing impact on each other. And we are energetically connected intricately. It is essential that we understand this, because the more that we do, the more we recognize that we can have a big impact on the world, on each other, to create this bonding relationship, which is essential. First with ourselves, then with our partners, then with our families, and then of course with any other person that we meet. And the more that we intend to do this, the more connection we'll receive, and we will give and we will receive. It's a exchange of love that happens. And in order to heal the world of the disconnection that we all face and the trauma that we've all been under, all the issues that we've dealt with in childhood, all the breakups or the heartbreaks and the trust that is broken, or the unmet expectations, all those things can be healed with intention. Healing ourselves first in the form of self-love, healing our partners in the form of sharing love, and then healing each individual person that we meet with our intentional connection and love, which is an unconditional form of love, especially when we're talking about strangers that we don't know. And how can I love somebody who I don't know? Well, believe it or not, we are so powerful, much more powerful than we think and that we're aware of, until we learn these skills and start using them. And I can't wait to hear how it goes when you guys give it a shot. So I'm so excited about that. So this unconditional form of love is kind of recognizing that what we tend to do when we're in relationships is we tend to love to get love. So if we think that the person will give us love back, then we will give them love. And so this is kind of a low form of love. And we'll talk more about that in the last session of this magnetic marriage activation. So the very last session, we talk about the 3 levels of love, Tony Robbins' 3 levels of love, which are the lowest, which is what can I get from this relationship? It's very selfish. The second is I'll give 50% if you give 50%, and you each do that for each other. So it kind of is much more functional because you're at least agreeing to this certain sets of activities or certain responsibilities being completed, and then you give love in exchange for them giving love. So it's still like half 50-50, 50-50. And then the highest level of love, which is unconditional love, is giving to get nothing, just to give, just because you care and you want to be that person. You want to be that kind of person. You choose to love unconditionally just because that's who you are. And what ends up happening is your unconditional love heals the other person, and their unconditional love tends to be reciprocated. It's not guaranteed, but you don't do it for getting. You do it because that's who you want to be. And so you don't have an expectation of getting back. And the more that you give in this way, the more you become a magnet for more love. So they tend to want to give to you because of who you are, because how you have shown up in their lives. You're a good example to them, and they, in your service and kindness, and not like, I have to sacrifice everything in order to give you love. Like I have to sacrifice all my time and all my energy and give away all the things that I have and spend all my money on you. Not that kind of love. What I mean is the intentional, unconditional love that's not conditional upon their actions or upon whether they're going to show up as the version of themselves that you think they should show up as, and not as I'm going to sacrifice everything. You know what I mean? Like with the self-care, that's where we start with self-care, is because your self-love is the most important thing. You can't come to a relationship on an empty tank. And so that's why we start with that. So when I say unconditional love, I don't mean unconditional self-sacrifice. So therefore, I'm going to give all my time and energy no matter what and give you all the love I have no matter what. That's not what I mean. What I mean is I don't give to get. I give because that's who I am. And I do it from a place of a big heart place. Like, and I explain, like, you know, if there's something that somebody needs from me, but I'm doing my self-care, it's not because I'm demanding something like I have to have something that's more important than you. It's because from this place of filled up space, I can show up as a much better friend, and I have to be filled up, and a much better lover if I'm not. So that's how we understand these principles, from a filled up space of unconditional love. And from that filled up space, you're much more able to send that tantric energy, eye contact, physical touch, and intention. And the last part of the tantric intimacy is the tantric communication. And we're going to talk more about tantric communication. Just see what time it is. Okay, got 10 minutes. So the tantric communication is a version of presence in the conversation. So I remember I used to have these conversations with my first husband and my second husband that were like, I just felt so much like disconnection. I remember being really upset, and I would cry a lot. I cry, like I'm emotionally, I'm a very emotional person. I remember my counselor told me that I wore my heart on my sleeve, and that is totally true. Like I would just, it had like, it felt good to like let it out, but it wasn't really within my control because that's who I am, you know? And so I would be like ashamed of how painful it felt. And I would be like, I wouldn't be present in these conversations because I would be so like distracted by the pain. And so my invitation to you when you are having conversations with your partner, when you're on a date, when you are just talking about something that might be a difficult conversation to talk about, a difficult topic, is that you remain present in the conversation. Presence, not looking down here, not looking down here, not looking over there, looking into your partner's eyes. And we have to remember that it does take a minute to be present, but as you are present right from the very beginning of the conversation, before hurt things are being said or painful things, or maybe they said something to hurt you, or you accidentally said something that hurt them, which we're not usually intending to be hurtful, but you know, we say it because that's just comes on autopilot. But instead of doing that, what you do is you just be present with them, and if they have something that they want to talk to you about, you just keep your eyes on theirs, energetically sending them love through your eyes and your presence, touching their arm. I hear you saying, and then using those words. I hear you saying. You know how powerful it is to be heard and to have somebody's full attention? Yeah, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. You feel like you matter, and you do matter, and they matter too. And their feelings, however hurt they might feel, and even if it feels like maybe you're being blamed partly for the problem, their feelings are still valid, even if you completely disagree. So, in that moment of complete presence with your partner during this difficult conversation that you might be having, or maybe they're just sharing something that happened at work, or maybe you're just on a date and you're just talking. And instead of picking up that phone, you put that phone down, you look into their eyes, and you turn your body and you face them and you look right at them. Your shoulders back, complete presence, and you intend to connect. Intend to connect. Presence, love, sending them your love through your presence and connectivity. Hand on their shoulder or their arm, touching their face and listening. I do this with my kids, and when I do this, they feel it. They feel it. They love to be heard. Everybody needs to be heard. And as you're doing that, often you'll be saying things that are very loving, like, "Oh, thank you so much for being here with me. I love how wonderful it makes me feel to be with you. And I just love listening to you. And it feels really nice to be here and present with you." That is beautiful. So that is a skill that you need to practice every day. And because we're not used to it, often it takes some time to develop the skill of I hear you saying without taking offense, without taking the bait, without feeling criticized, just listening. And if your partner says to you, "I'm really mad at you because you, I don't know what, maybe you showed up late, you're 30 minutes late and you're so disrespectful to me." But instead of saying, I had to be late because there was traffic on the road and wasn't my fault. I was let off work late and there was traffic and I had to go to the bathroom on the way and I had to stop and you even told me to stop and get something for you. Instead of saying that, you say, "I hear you saying that I was late and that hurt your feelings. That must be hurtful to you. That's a really bad way to feel. Did I get that right?" And they would say, "Yes." And you always do that. And you're like, "I hear you saying, yes, that I did get that right. And I always do that. Did I get that right?" And they're like, "Yes." And they're like, "Okay, that makes sense to me. I can see why you'd be hurt by that." And if you feel like you should, this is the perfect time for an apology. "I apologize for being disrespectful when I didn't show up on time. That wasn't right. And I agree with you." No justification. Don't explain why you're late. It might come up in a future conversation. It might come up later in the conversation, but it won't be from a place of defense. It'll be from a place of explanation, sharing, not because you're like, "Oh, you should just forgive me," or "You should just not feel the way you feel." Like, because it does feel like they're being unreasonable if they say something like that. It feels unreasonable. Like, "Why are you being rude to me right now?" That's how it feels. But you don't need to feel like they're being rude to you because you just need to feel like they love you. And that you love them. And that's how you show unconditional love in that moment. And that is your tantric intimacy skill. I hear you saying, "Did I get that right?" And then you repeat that cycle until they feel completely heard. By the end of the conversation, they will feel completely heard, as long as you do not take offense. If you do start to feel like you're going to take offense, this is a moment for you to say, "I would like to have a timeout. I'm feeling distressed." And don't blame it on them. Just say, "I'm just feeling distressed and I'm just going to take a minute." And if you're teary-eyed and you feel hurt, just take a minute. And if you have to take more than a minute, it's okay. If you need to go do some self-care, go for a walk, connect with yourself, meditate about it. How can I energetically connect with myself first so that I'm available for this conversation? Trust me, this has been an ongoing issue for me for so long. So I've been in a lot of situations where I'm crying, I'm feeling hurt and devastated and just broken. I just feel completely broken. And I have had to take some time for myself And when I was ready, when I felt like I was spiritually filled back up, I'll do prayer and meditation during that time. I will have some fun. And when I am ready, sometimes I just need sleep. Honestly, a lot of times just sleep and just get back into the world. It's okay. It's okay. Relax. It's okay if I'm not perfect. You are perfectly imperfect, and that is just how it is. And that's okay. You know what I mean? So that being, instead of yelling and arguing, getting to this big fight, which I've done plenty of times before, we connect spiritually and energetically, and each person feels, especially you knowing that you're the only one who really has the power here, is you feel like you showed up as a dignified human being. You showed up as your best self, and that makes you feel good. And you pat yourself on the back for being so amazing, for showing up as your best self. That is how we do it in the self-love, tantric presence way. So that concludes our self-love and self-care with Tantric Intimacy section. And we're going to just complete with a prayerful meditation. I think meditation is a form of prayer. So let's complete with this beautiful meditation. Take a deep breath in. Slow breath out. Ground your energy to the earth, right to the center of the earth. Imagine that the earth is holding you, loving you, protecting you, adoring you. Imagine that the whole earth is full of energy that loves you. Imagine now that the cosmic energy is flowing through your crown chakra to your heart chakra and all the way down to your root chakra, and opening up those energy centers and filling them with so much love and healing. Visualize it as being a white ball of healing light, and each chakra opens all the way up and fills you with white light, healing energy, tingles into your hands and into your feet. It expands past your mind and into your aura, which you adjust to the size that you prefer. Breathe that in. Breathe out. Now I want you to imagine that your partner is right in front of you, the person that you want to connect with. And they're standing in front of you, and you're gazing into their eyes, and they're gazing into yours, and you breathe in synchronized unity. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take in the white light energy that fills your entire body, and it fills their body, and your energies sync together in this breathing cycle. Breathing in, breathing out. And if your partner is with you right now, the woman can climb on top of her partner's lap, and they breathe together in synchronized breathing. They're facing each other, smiling and gazing into each other's eyes. Breathing in, breathing out, smiling and connecting. Sending each other beautiful, healing, white light love. In and out, breathing. And I want you to send them positive thoughts, gratitudes. You can even say these gratitudes aloud to your partner. I love how kind and gracious you are. I love how soft and sweet you are. I love how you always take good care of me and take me places. And we've had so many beautiful adventures together. Thank you so much for paying for things or cleaning things up or taking me places. Thanks for being here for me and nurturing me. Whatever it is, I want you to imagine now that you're giving your partner gratitude. And if your partner is with you, I want you to actually give them gratitude. I'm going to give you a minute to do that. Keep breathing. Keep gazing into each other's eyes. And if they're not with you, imagine they are. You can touch them, give them tantric touches on the face, on the hands, and any part of their bodies, on their backs. Just loving on them, connecting with them, either metaphorically or energetically or in person. I want you to imagine that all your energy centers are connecting. Your crown chakras are connecting as you breathe, expanding and connecting. Your throat chakras are connecting, expanding and connecting, saying words of affirmation and appreciation. Your heart chakras are connecting, sending the frequency of love to each other. All the way down, expanding and breathing. Each of your energy centers, your sacral chakra, connecting. That's your sexual energy, connecting, opening and connecting. And your root chakra, opening, connecting and grounding both of you to the earth, feeling grounded, alive, and loved, filling both of your auras up with love, connection, and breath. Unconditional love. We'll let unconditional love be the background mantra. Love, love, love. Let love be the background mantra. I want you to come right back to the room, be right behind your eyes, and open your eyes. Wow. What a beautiful gift you are. Thank you so much for being here with me. If anybody has any last thoughts on anything they'd like to share, I'd love to hear it. If you're available, it's okay if you're not. Thank you for the hearts, Marcella. Thank you for being here, Sheldon. I think a bunch of us had to leave, and that's okay. I'm going to send you the link to this after I'm done fixing the recording. Hopefully it recorded fine, and I will send it to you. And anybody who does not, I don't have their email, you can send that to me through email or text message. All right, I love you all. I really appreciate you attending. Thank you so much for supporting me. You know how much I appreciate all your support. And I just want to be able to do what I've been, my calling here on earth, and that is to be, to connect, to love and connect and teach others how to do that. And I have been able to do that with my marriage, and it was so hard for so long, and I have had so much joy, and so serving you and being here with you is the greatest thing I could ever do. I love you all, and I will talk to you soon. Aloha. Mahalo.